Hello, today we continue to develop a colony of surgeons. If you're new to this series, I recommend you start by watching the first part. In this scenario, I build my colony of surgeons who earn money with the help of raiders and single colonies without affection. And they make money by extracting organs from these poor people. You on a Johny Play channel, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. The first thing I decided that it's very important to run electric cables to a second life of defense, in case the enemy wanted to attack us from the side and it would be necessary to rearrange our defensive turrets. After that, I immediately started researching hydroponics, because in this series I already want to build my farm in order not to constantly hunt poor animals, and also not to expose my colonies to danger, forcing them to leave the walls of our base once again. Also, I decided that it's necessary to optimize the space of our warehouse a little, because the space for resources is becoming less and less, and for this I decided to move our stone blocks to the street again, because they still cannot spoil if they are not under the ceiling. I understood that we don't have enough steel at all to further develop our colony, because, for example, for a hydroponic farm we need a little more than 2000 units of steel, which in general is very much. So I decided that it would be a good decision to start a little extract steel from all the steel deposits we can find around our base. Well, of course, you need to start with those that are farthest from everyone else and get a little closer to the walls of our house. We were again attacked by a crazy animal, but this time we stopped it with the help of heavy machine gun. And once again, I will say that the food comes to us by itself. Due to the lack of food, we are again forced to start hunting animals. This time I decided to reduce the population of rats on our map. I think that nothing terrible will happen if these pests disappear from the ecosystem of my territories. But at some point one of my colonies accidentally took aim at a rhino that was just walking near the rat that was being hunted. The rhino immediately responded with aggression and began to run at my colonists. But just like last time, a round of heavy machine gun knocked the majestic creature to the ground, after which my colonists finished off the animal and dragged its carcass into our refrigerator. I hope this meat will be enough for us for a long time. Some of my colonists are feeling too bored, so I decided to build packs for throwing horseshoes. I hope this way they can relax a little. And also in my future hydroponic farm I put a heater so that the plants could grow in comfortable conditions for them and there were no debuffs due to bad temperature. Finally, we have researched hydroponics and start building my farm. I decided that it would be ideal to build 23 hydroponic tables and sow them with rice to begin with, and then maybe grow cotton or medicinal roots. And it was at this time that the raiders decided to attack us. It was a group of 9 individuals, and they were armed much better than all the raiders that had attacked us before. In general, I was not very afraid of these enemies, because the defense capability of our base was at a high level, especially against ordinary people. Besides, they didn't attack immediately and we had time to prepare for it. We didn't even go on defense right now, we continued to build our farm for a while. We just own our defensive turrets. And when the enemy attacked, I put my colonists on the defensive. The battle itself passed too quickly. The enemies did not even have time to start shooting. Only one raider fired at us, because instead of entering the kill box, he decided to take a distant position and fire at us from there. But when his friends were already lying on the ground, we opened fire on him and easily killed him. This time we were lucky and we captured 4 raiders at once. I hope that we will be able to get as many organs as possible from them. In general, at first I thought to give them some time to recover, but almost immediately one of them got an infection in one of their limbs, and we decided that we need to perform the operation as soon as possible. And in general, everything went very well, and we were able to get 3 organs from this raider at once. 3 more of his friends remained, and we decided that we shouldn't drag them either. In total, we were able to get more than 10 organs from these 4 raiders, which is considered a maximum success that will allow us to buy many good and useful things. Meanwhile, our farm has been completed, as soon we will be able to start sowing our hydroponic tables. And so I started expanding cells for prisoners, because these raids show that there is too little space in our prison and we need to put more beds. After expanding the room, it now accommodates 8 beds instead of 3. And again, I expand the warehouse, this time without building walls. I just built 3 new racks for resources, so that the enemies could no longer fire outside the kill box. I decided to build an additional wall that would force the raiders to enter the kill box, regardless of their desire. Also, not far from our base, a shuttle crashed with 3 independent refugees, which of course we can now dissect. I immediately sent 3 of my colonies to pick up the wounded and 1 more to strip the shuttle for useful resources. The refugees were brought to our prison. We undressed them and began to conduct operations. Everything went perfectly and we obtained 9 organs in total, which will give us simply incredible money. There are so many unnecessary and bad things in our house, such as torn clothes or low-tech weapons, that I decided to build a crematorium where we can burn all these unnecessary things that just occupy the territory of our warehouse. We started trading with the space merchant and were able to exchange some useful things with him. Among them, there were even advanced components that will be very useful in the later stages of the game. Hunters came to our map, and I was very afraid that they would go to hunt boomalopes or boom rats as usual. And as I thought, it happened. When these scoundrels left my map with loot, my colonists were forced to run to extinguish the flames. But to my surprise, almost all the fire was extinguished without even spreading to other cells. We decided to help people in need. They needed a little more than 500 units of silver, and I was generally not against giving them this help. Hopefully, we will get it back. And I also had some problems with the power, and because of that, I decided to build 4 additional solar panels. By the way, one of my colonies was attacked by an aggressive hare, but my colonist was able to defeat it in hand-to-hand combat with almost no scratches. In the meantime, we continued mining steel and also decided to build a sewing table in order to make some backpacks for our colonists, because backpacks greatly increase the weight the colonists can carry. We were attacked by animals infected with agriosis, which in our real world is called rabies. We didn't even go outside for defense. The tourists did all the work, and I can say that they succeeded 100%. Arms dealers came to our map, from which we could buy an energy rifle, which will be very useful in the fight against mechanoids and insectoids. By the way, you can evaluate how my 5 colonies look now. I think that this is a very good result for the 3rd episode of our series. And that's how I want to end this video. Please like, subscribe and comment on this video. And watch other videos on my channel. Johny was with you. Goodbye.